Managers of nature preserves, as well as educated homeowners, are working to restore biodiversity and ecosystem health. Removal of buckthorn and other invasive species is a recommended step in landscape restoration. This video illustrates why buckthorn removal is important. The case examples presented are from the E.L. Johnson Nature Center in Bloomfield Township and nearby homeowner Diane Gregory. Based on these examples, it is hoped that homeowners and park rangers throughout the Rouge watershed will check their own landscapes and remove buckthorn. Biodiversity is the amazing variety of life on Earth. Due to urban development, soil erosion, pavement, and polluted runoff, much of the original biodiversity of southeast Michigan has been lost. Landscape diversity can be enhanced with benefits for all living creatures. The use of certain exotic plant species that rapidly spread is another major reason for the loss of biodiversity. This issue is our focus for this video. Invasive species such as common buckthorn and glossy buckthorn contribute to the degradation of our urban landscape. Buckthorn changes soil chemistry, kills native wildflowers, and turns woodland into dense, dark thickets. Buckthorn berries are eaten by birds and dispersed widely. One mature female buckthorn plant can produce hundreds of seeds each year. The seeds remain viable in the soil for years, so seedling removal must continue each year. At the E.L. Johnson Nature Center, buckthorn removal projects have been underway for many years. Volunteers are trained to identify buckthorn. Common buckthorn has dark green oval leaves with toothed margins. The leaves have prominent leaf veins which curve as they approach the leaf tip. The leaves alternate on either side of the stem. Also, common buckthorn has a thorn between two buds at the end of branches. Buckthorn can be easily identified in the fall because it stays green longer than native trees. Small buckthorn plants can be controlled by hand pulling or digging at any time of the year. However, chemical treatment, which is sometimes the only practical option, is most effective in the fall. Because buckthorn stumps resprout quickly after cutting, the herbicide chemical is most effective if applied within 10 minutes after the cut is made. The results of buckthorn removal can be seen at the E.L. Johnson Nature Center. The removal of buckthorn has allowed more diverse woodland wildflowers to grow. At this wooden site, the removal of buckthorn allowed the native hickory trees to grow and thrive without competition from invasives.
Since we've removed the buckthorn in these areas, we've seen a tremendous increase in the diversity of insects and birds and of course plants. The whole nature center sounds different. If you walk here in the summer, you'll hear sounds that we never used to hear in these thickets of buckthorn. This has been a tremendous improvement, and personally this is my greatest satisfaction to hear these sounds and see these different species.
Diane Gregory lives in Bloomfield Township near the Rouge River. She maintains a large backyard landscape with varied wildflowers, trees, and shrubs. Her home landscape goal is to sustain habitat for butterflies and birds and to create a natural garden. When Diane realized that few plants would grow under buckthorn, she began her own campaign to remove the invader using hand tools whenever possible. She keeps track of buckthorn locations and removes seedlings on a continuous basis. At other sites on her property, she has planted diverse shrubs and trees, many of them native. Eventually, the native shrubs and wildflower plantings will be extended to the areas that were formerly filled with buckthorn. Because of the diversity of plants and the choice of plants, her landscape is a haven for birds, butterflies, and beneficial insects. Diane is also working to enhance her soil health as part of her gardening practice. In the fall, she rakes the leaves off the lawn and spreads the leaves in the garden bed as a natural mulch. The leaves build soil health by contributing nutrients and organic matter. The leaf mulch ring around the tree also protects the tree trunk and helps retain moisture and discourage weeds. Diane is also planting a buffer of native diverse shrubs along the Rouge River. The goal is to establish vegetation on all bare areas to establish the soil and reduce soil erosion.
When we removed the buckthorns, we had a whole seed bank of native plants, and that's what made the gardening easier.
Diane's yard is a useful example of naturescaping. She is removing invasives, planting native plants, and mulching. In Rouge watershed communities, removal of buckthorn is highly recommended. Of course, every home landscape is different. Today, gardeners learn from each other as well as from classes and practical experience. A great way to learn about buckthorn and other invasive plants is to volunteer at a local nature center workday. The hands-on experience can then be transferred to your own home landscape. A reference bulletin entitled Naturescaping for the Rouge River is available at www.sacwa.org.